topic on employee selection and assessment, and also finding the right fit for your team or for your business. Basically, in this, I'm gonna go once again with what we did also in the first part. Basically, in this presentation today, we are going to talk in general terms about employee selection, about how we source candidates, about why this is important, about the process of selecting our candidates, and some of the tools and the techniques that usually are used. And then we have the legal and ethical considerations when um, for the process of selecting and recruiting, and also then some discussions and questions. Some of the primary goals will be that we want to achieve is selecting the right candidates and how we can learn on making this process, and to learn more about the assessments and strategies used by the HR department. Shortly, employee selection is the process of interviewing and evaluating the candidates for a specific job and selecting the most suitable one for employment based on specific criteria, including the qualifications, skills, experience, and expertise. It's the process of putting right people onto the right job, because this is what we want. We want to find the right people to do the job. It is a procedure of matching organizational requirements with the skills and qualifications of people. Effective selection can be done only when there is effective matching. Uh, Employee selection is the process of choosing individuals who have relevant qualifications to fill jobs in an organization. Without qualified employees, an organization is in a poor position to succeed. Selecting the right candidates is the crucial step on developing the right strategy for your company to be successful. Here we have how is the process, and it starts by the application of the candidates, then the resume screening, the screening call, the assessment test, the in-person interview, background checks, reference checks, and decision and job offer. These are some of the tools and techniques. We have the test validity, we have the criterion validity. So the test validity is the accuracy usually happening with the tests. So we try to make tests to the candidates to measure what we want to measure for this job, or what are the requirements for a specific job. Then is the criterion validity, that is based on showing that scores on the test are related to the job performance. Then we have the content validity. Uh, a test that is content or valid is one in which the test contains a fair sample of the tasks and skills actually needed for the job in question. We have the reliability of the tests that we make, the expectancy chart, because we know what we are about to expect, but we also want to see what population we are going to test or to take into consideration in doing the assessment. Then we have the work samples, the work sampling technique, that is a testing method based on measuring performance on actual job tasks, or the practice, as we say. And management assessment is a situation in which management candidates are asked to make centered decisions in hypothetical situations and are scored on their performance. So you give a task. This is usually done with management positions. You give a task and you tell and see how is this person going to react in this case, what kind of decisions will he take, his critical thinking, and other things that we want to value. Legal and ethical considerations. Unethical practices within the recruitment industry are unfortunately rife and can result in job seekers being disappointed, demotivated, and even exploded. Although we need to understand and we need to accept that during the last years it is a more given focus into the well-being of the employees, into the importance of HR, and there are some changing things also in the HR department for improving the whole process of recruitment. But sometimes it is also like this. Sometimes there are also some ethical considerations that are happening that usually make the candidates feel not good. For example, when the recruiters that does not respond, it is our duty as a recruiter then when we receive an application from every candidate, we rather say them they are selected or not. So it's not only in the time that an employee or a candidate made an application, and it's not always to be a yes and we write to them. Sometimes also when it's no, we need to tell them because they have spent time on making this application, and by not taking anything into this consideration, we develop some feelings of being demotivated to them, having less self-esteem for other applications, and so on. So our feedback, whether it's positive or negative, is very important. As a recruiter, you are responsible for acting in the best interest of candidates who are trusting you with their future career, as well as client companies who rely on you to find the very best person for the opportunity at hand. Essential factors to consider for ethical recruiting. Never place misleading job advertisements. Interview correctly to ensure proper matching. Treat all candidates equally. These are some of the points that we need to keep in mind while making the process of recruitment. These are the first. We also have others. Solicit only information that is necessary. So, when having the recruitment process, we need to see the information that is needed for us. For example, what is required in the job description, this is the information that we need. Maintain confidentiality on the use and storage of candidate information. This is very important. Confidentiality is essential in every profession and in every position. So we need to keep in mind that we need to be as confident and ethical in every point. Never practice redirection. This is when a recruiter takes feedback from a hiring manager after a candidate's interview and sends it to the candidate. So we don't send everything to the candidate. We send uh, the answer or the decision in the proper and ethical way, always. Inform candidates appropriately of the selection decision. Always let the candidate know within a specified or communicated time frame whether they got the job or not. Do not leave them hanging because, as I said before, this may bring the development of other demotivation, low self-esteem, and also not feeling so motivated to apply on other jobs. This is a quote: if you hire good people, give them good jobs, and pay them good wages, generally something good is going to happen. Acquiring the right talent is the most important key to growth. Hiring was and still is the most important thing we do. So if we find the right candidates to work with us, it's like finding a gem for our company. If we invest into finding the best candidates, then we are investing in our own success. This is a plan for recruitment and selection. You need to always have the right plan and vision for your company. You need to find the right HR department and management staff, which is one of the most important stuff into a company or business. You need to design the best plan with them so they can hire the best staff for you. So if you let them know your vision, your mission, then these are the first steps that you have helped them in finding the right candidates for you. You should believe and listen to your employees and welcome suggestions of new strategies and policies that are developed every day. Some of the areas of focus into employee selection is company vision and mission. If we understand these two factors, can lead and help the company more in finding the right candidates for the company, employee background and motivation. Filling all the requirements is important, but finding an employee who is ambitious and motivated to work is like finding a hidden gem towards developing success in the workplace. This is a summary of all that we talked about. And now we are going to go with your questions. I'm going to welcome the questions so we can talk.
Silvana, I do not see any questions. Oh, we have a hand up.
Yeah, we have a hand. So
Okay. Hello, Otania. Can you unmute your microphone? Do you see a little message on your screen asking you to unmute your microphone? Let me try again. Do you see that message?
Hello, can you hear me, please?
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah, good morning.
Good
Good morning,
morning.
sir. Okay, please, what legal action can an employee take if he applies for a particular job and there's no response from the employer? What kind of legal action can an applicant take if it happens that way, please? Hello?
yes, your question was what kind of legal action can an employee take when, in what case?
No, what I mean is that what legal action can applicant take if he applies for a particular job and there is no response from the employer?
When they apply for a job and there is no response from the
Exactly.
employer.
It has happened to me several times, several occasions. I've been applying for a job, but no response from the employer.
Okay, thank you for your question. So, today we are talking about the importance of employee selection and also how this whole process of um, applying to jobs and also recruiting and sourcing candidates is. Um, we talk in general terms, and today I know that there is not always response when you apply to jobs because you may apply in 100 jobs every day or every week, let's say, and you do not always have a response back. And this is in
Exactly.
the yes, and I know this is frustrating, and that's why in my
Frustrating, of
presentation
course, of
I
course.
talked. Yes, I talked about this process and how this can be improved in the future. I think that nowadays this has changed and is being improved. And by time to time, we will also take like more responses. It is also due to the companies and how their department is, and if they have enough stuff to also make this process or of replying to people. So let's hope that in the future this will be like 100% improved, and the recruiters will find a way of uh, finding the time to send feedback to all of the applicants.
Okay, ma. Okay. Honestly speaking, I really appreciate your presentation, especially under this subheading called legal and ethical action.
Thank you.
Hello, are you with me?
Yeah, thank you.
Hello.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we
Thank you
hear
very
you.
much.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the good words.
Your
Thank you also
presentation
for
was
your
very wonderful presentation. Thank you.
thank you also. Yes, we can go on with another question.
We will now go to Kamuro. Kamuru.
Mhm.
Kamuru, can you unmute your microphone? Kamuru? Do you see a message on your screen to unmute your microphone? Kamuru? Okay, work on that. Let's go to Kahitsi. Are you able to unmute your microphone? There you go.
Yes.
Mhm.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you for a nice presentation. My question is almost this, a little bit resembling to the last last discusser. Mine it's about as he said, if you are you are applying for the job, and then
Mhm.
several times you don't you don't got the response, and maybe you are not even invited to attend maybe like an interview or something. Uh, do does the applicant does the mistakes, or it has something that he has several times gone wrong?
Okay, so thank you for your question. Basically, as I understood, is when you don't take feedback from the company or from the application, is there mistake coming from the applicant's part? You mean?
Yes.
Mhm. I would say to this question that not all the time. It depends also if you had fulfilled all of your requirements into the job, or it depends also on the system that uh, the company has chosen in select uh, having to select the candidates. So basically, nowadays there are also different systems that companies use also for screening CVs. So the first thing that I would say to you is to write an updated and ATS friendly uh, resume when applying to jobs, because this is what they mostly acquire into this, or nowadays when you do an application. So an updated resume or an updated CV is like the first certificate that you show all of you as a person, and then also your motivation later when they require also motivation later. So coming into your question, I would say that it is due to your it is firstly due to the selecting system that the company has. But it is important from the applicant's part. What I suggest in most of my clients and students and people who ask me is to always have an updated and an ATS friendly resume when applying to jobs.
Okay. Maybe again, maybe the application. Many people are applying to the same company. Maybe you find that uh, you don't fulfill the requirements of the company as well.
Yeah, it depends on too many reasons, but these are
Mhm.
some that I may tell depending on both sides. So it is not always the fault of the applicant or not always the fault of the company. it is like as things change every day, also the way or that you need to apply into jobs is also changing, so you need to have always an updated system on also applying to these jobs.
We have a couple of questions in writing in chat.
Mhm.
Let's do a couple of those.
Okay.
One question is if you make a recruitment error so that the person's not fit for the job, what do you do in a situation like that?
So when you get an application from someone that doesn't always meet the requirements for the job, this
Ye-
is
Yes, it's like you hire them and then you realize, oh, this person really isn't qualified.
okay. So when I was presenting, I also showed some of the process or the stages of the process of recruitment, and it is that when you write the requirements into your job advertisement, you also write all of the requirements, and then you get a lot of applications, and then you have like the assessment tests, so you can see how they score, and for different positions, that is why we need to have also different tests and assessment and different ways of seeing these people. So we can have a case, we can have a practice, we can have a test, and then we do the final interview in seeing if this person fits or not for the job, because we need to be sure. This is why this process is so long, to being sure about the employee.
Okay, let's go on to the next question. I want to do a couple of these that are in chat. So there's a question here from Dr. Caroline. How quickly should employers get back to applicants after reference checks? What's the reasonable time frame?
The reasonable time frame, it is usually also set into the job advertisement, or when you take the applicant's resume or application. But I think that should be not more than 10 days the most, because depending also on to the number of applicants and also into the process that it might be having, the whole recruitment process. But for me, I believe that it should be not more than 10 days.
Okay, next question from Emmanuel is, this is an interesting question. How do you handle situations where a candidate might not meet all the job requirements, but they show potential?
Mhm. Okay, thank you for this question. This is actually a very good question. And this is when the whole HR department comes into the, let's say, their job or the whole process of application. So we have also the students, for example, they do not have the experience, but they may have potential. So also when seeing the test scoring, or when you conduct a test or an assessment for this recruitment process, it is very important that you also try to measure variables such as motivation, such as potential, and also their desire to learn, and how will they be into this company, or what they want to achieve for themselves. Usually because all of us have done applications about different jobs, and there are some particular questions for specific positions. So for each position there are different questions that recruiters make into the interview. This is for asking your potential, or let's say for seeing your potential, what you will bring into table into this company and what would you take from it. And in this manner, or in this way, they see your potential and motivation, and they want to make sure that even though you don't have, for example, you only have 2 years of experience instead of 3, that they want but they see that you are confident into yourself and you want to work hard. So this is why the interview um, is important also. Also, when you do an application, you may have some specific questions that are not related only with the positions, but are related to your abilities, or some specific abilities related to communication skills or to other skills, soft skills usually, that can help them to measure your uh, potential and motivation in working into this job.